Welcome to Wyram Heredia's workshop about briquette making. Today we're going to make briquettes out of manure, dry material like sawdust or dry leaves, and charcoal dust. And the other form of briquettes we're going to make is out of paper and water. Briquettes are great because you can use leftover material that you would otherwise go to the trash for lighting your fire and keeping your fire going, so it really does prevent deforestation. First of all, we're going to make briquettes out of manure and sawdust and charcoal dust. Charcoal dust is a product that is left over in charcoal bags. When people in Africa, for example, buy their charcoal, there's always charcoal dust in the bottom, and charcoal dust really doesn't do any good for the charcoal cookers because it just falls through the holes that are in the bottom of the cooker. So it is something that is not normally used for making fire, but it works pretty well. We have some cow manure here. It's good to have a little bit of the cow manure that's on the wetter side, not dried manure. If you have dried manure, and that's totally fine, but then you will have to soak it in water for like 2 to 3 hours before you can really work with it. This is some fresh cow manure that we harvested from our cow. We're going to mix it with some dry material. It's good if the dry material is not too coarse, because you will form it into balls or rectangular forms. So that's easier if it's not too coarse. We just worked with some wood in our workshop, so we have that as our dry material, and we're gonna add about half a part of charcoal dust to 1 part of manure and 1 part of the dry material. If you have bigger pieces, and that's sometimes the case in your charcoal dust, just take 2 rocks or 2 blocks of wood and crunch it a little bit, and then you can mix it in. What we'll do now is we'll add some water. Just a little bit. You could always add more. And we'll make a little dough out of our 3 materials. Gonna mix it well together so that it's well mixed. Gonna try to get out any hard pieces. If there's sticks in here, please take them out. It really breaks your briquettes later. It's good if it's soft but dry material that you mix in there. And then, after mixing it for a little while, really like a dough, when it's well mixed, you take your hands, or if you made a mold, you can make a mold. Here in this case, I'm just using my hands, and I'm taking like a handful in one of my hands, pressing it together, getting all that liquid, all that water out. As you see, there's quite a bit. And then forming a round ball. Briquettes really live from that compression. And then we're gonna let it dry in the shade for 3 to 5 days, and then it's ready to be used. After we've done our manure and charcoal and sawdust briquettes, we're going to make some briquettes out of leftover paper. You can often find leftover paper close to government buildings or offices that are not using it anymore, or schools. We have some leftover paper out of our office, and then some egg cartons. What we're going to do is we're just going to mix it in water, rip it in small pieces, and then we're going to form some little balls out of it as well. Well, this is soaking. We're just going to wait a little bit. When it comes to your paper, it's important that you don't use shiny printed paper. So paper that is cardboard that has like a shiny side to it, don't use that. It doesn't burn as well, and it will probably give you problems with your briquette. It doesn't soak as well. So just use newspapers, old paper, whatever you can find in your area. So this is what our paper mache basically looks like after 5-6 minutes. It's well soaked, and we're gonna take our hands, take a handful of it, and squeeze out that water, that liquid again, as much as we can. Sometimes if you want to make a lot of them, it's helpful to build a mold first. We've used old yogurt cups and made a hole in the bottom and just squeezed it in there. There's still more coming out, as you can see. We'll squeeze out as much as we can and then compress it into a nice ball. That's the easiest form for our hands. And then we'll let it dry for 3 to 5 days as well. And it's gonna be our next wood replacement for the next cooking session.